All right, I'm making one last video on stuff I've done to this bead roller because I'm not doing anything else to it. I'm actually probably going to build a bigger, stronger bead roller. I just wanted to finish up with what I've done here for now. And this is something I should have done a long time ago, was to drill and tap this block for a bolt and then drill a through hole through the support. And what that does is it brings that shaft up on its own, so you don't have to pick the shaft up every time. And I've been fighting that for years, and I don't know, it took like 30 minutes. I should have done it years and years ago, but that was the big one. And then the second thing I did since my last video was to make a bigger panel. I added a shaft extension, and I ran into a problem there with this hole on this shaft here. The bottom one was fine, but the top one was drilled crooked from the factory. I don't even know how you can drill a hole crooked with a lathe, but they did it. So I made these shafts and everything, and then I went to screw them in, and this top one wobbled. So what I did was put that on a lathe, and I took an end mill and went in and bored all the threads out and made the hole round again, and then retapped it, and then drilled and tapped a bolt and put in there as a reducer so that I didn't have to remake or make another one of these. If I was going to do it again, though, honestly, I would have just bought a stick of inch cold roll and just made an entire new shaft, because all you would need to do is mill a flat spot on this end and a flat spot on that end, and then the inch is actually just a few thousandths bigger than that, so you'd have to turn down, I don't know, 10 or 15 thousandths, I don't remember, but for the 6 inches down here, you know, I'd turn it back to like there, knock it down to fit inside that bushing, and then you'd have to turn down this end just a little bit. And then the bottom shaft is a different length than the top shaft, but regardless, that would have it probably would have been taken less time to just make new shafts, but this basically was free, and sometimes I have more time than money. So how I come up with my length was, I was wanting to do about 6 inches, and that would take this out to a 24-inch roller, but I already had these holes drilled for my bed. Now you can't really see them, but they're even. I had 3 sets of holes drilled, and what I wanted to do was to move that down one set of holes, and there is a holes. And so what I did was extended the shaft the distance of one of these sets of holes. So I slid the table down, and then I think there was 4 1/2, 4 5/8, whatever it was, I made those. And moved the table down, added my extensions, and that's where I'm at. They do get some flex because you've got such a large unsupported length of steel there. So honestly, at 4 1/2 inches, I think you're approaching the high end of what you can get away with on that, which again brings me to you just need to build a bigger bead roller or buy one. But I'm going to build one. Probably there's a guy that has the plans online for free to just have them laser cut or plasma cut, and you can just build one kind of similar to, you know, one of the larger aftermarket ones. But other than that, these are just my art dies I made. I don't think I ever went into that, but there's not too awful much that goes into that side of it. But I just wanted to kind of do an update of the final couple things I'm doing to mine, and then before I quit using it and throw it under the bench. So by spring, when I bought that motor, I wanted it to be big enough to run a bigger bead roller. So that's why I think I explained that in my other video. But I'm possibly going to just make a frame and actually reuse these bearing blocks, my gears, everything I can from this, and try to keep costs down on my other table. But for now, I'm getting by. I bead roll. I've been doing some art stuff, and I did a 24 by 24, I think it was, and that was on the high side. This one here I did for a friend of mine. It was like 18 by 24. I just did another panel that's 20 by 20, which was about right. So without that extension, you're going to be at somewhere around probably 16 to 18 inches. Because when you get a square and you're trying to turn a square, if you're working down in the corner, even though you've got an 18-inch throat, you can't necessarily use an 18-inch piece depending on where where you're working the panel at. So, but anyways, short video, just wanted to pass that on and maybe give you an idea on how to add a little bit of capacity to your bead roller. But like I said, you get much more length than this, and you're going to be running into problems with flex, especially if you're doing heavier, you know, steel or heavier aluminum. But I'm doing 18 gauge aluminum, so it's not really an issue. But like I said, this deal here was, it should have been done a long time ago deal there. So anyways, have a good day.